Hello and welcome back to Rue Valley. We are continuing on with our campaign, day 3, probably video 4, I'm not even really sure. Let's see how we cut it up, but today I think we might be able to get to the end. I'm at least hoping we can find one of the endings today. In the last episode, we kind of solved Dr. Fink's storyline, and we also solved not Robin's storyline, but the lady kicking the vending machine, who I can never seem to remember the name of. And today, the goal is to get out to Maxine's house. Her storyline. Why can I not remember her name? Riley. We did her storyline yesterday. Proved that we were in a time loop. And Gideon Fink, we got inside Gideon Fink's room right at the end of yesterday and learned all about kind of what happened to him at Coral Destiny. So we're going to wrap that up. That memory. We did also get the achievement for getting every single point of inspiration in the game, so I'm assuming whatever is left we can do. And today's big goal is search Maxine's room. And I guess Rue Valley sucks. Search Maxine's room. Now, I know loosely how to get there. It says go past Kuiper Belt. Kuiper Belt, which maybe we'll get. Maybe we'll get pronouncing correctly today. So let's start looping, right? Good emoji memes. I think we can probably ignore that guy today. Quotes from Dune, in case people are wondering. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm still trying to read through Dune. I mean, I've read through the first one, but I'm on Dune Messiah now. So, it said go... Yeah, okay, so I think I actually just have to walk there. Because when we came up here before, we went that way. So I wonder if we go... Nope. Huh. Huh. Apex ore. They're the fellows who poisoned the water supply. So it said we had to go to Kuiper Belt and turn left, basically, after Kuiper Belt, which I'm assuming the sports car would take us to. But if we drive north, we just get to the tunnel and explode. So why don't we actually have a path to Maxine's house? There is also still the back room here, and we haven't really solved his problem yet. I.e., I mean, we kind of know like what the 40K is taken out of his bank account for,
hey,
but
welcome to... I'm Travis, and you look like you could really use a drink.
What can you tell me about Dr. Fink? We might as well, while we're here, try to get some answers. So help me with hard enough times when you post your videos, being able to have your positivity. So thank you for your content, dude. I'm so glad. I love to hear that. That's a lot of what I'm here for, is giving people a little refuge from all the chaos of the day. Bring some joy into people's life. Try to give some help. About the you're not a therapist, you're a streamer comment. Sometimes that's enough to help in the moment, help stop the spiral. Yeah, you know, that's a big reason why I do it. You know, I always say I want to create a space where people can come, they could talk about games, they could kind of forget about the stress of the day. They can have an escape, and if I can provide some of that joy, I feel like I'm giving back, you know, in some way. So. But get therapy, it helps talking to people who won't judge you. Absolutely. I will judge you. I'm a Libra, so...
Not much. Anita was, probably still is, angry at Ben for giving him a better price for a long-term stay. That's the extent of it, really. Well, there's a bit more.
Ooh,
Some
secrets.
Thinks regulars come to the bar every now and again after their sessions. They've got nothing but praise for the man and his methods.
Know that nobody is suffering alone. True that. I'm a Libra too. Yes.
So
Libras
I thought
unite.
about starting counseling with it. Don't get me wrong, my current therapist is amazing, but I prefer to have sessions in person.
Didn't work out though. He doesn't take new clients unless they're assigned through the Ministry of Public Happiness referral system, so he's stuck with his therapist. That's interesting. Guess I got lucky.
Altruism, benevolence, compassion, I don't really know, but you can take your pick.
That's not what you said. Judging by what his other clients say, it seems that way. So you have a positive opinion of therapy.
Course. There's that old adage, healthy mind and a healthy body. You can't have one without the other.
True. If his body is indication, his mind is bursting with
I
health.
don't want to sound arrogant or boast, just giving you an example from my personal life. Disclaimer done. I know it's hard to believe it when you see me today, but I was a slob, both in mind and in body.
Well, now you're a zaddy.
There were days when I couldn't get out of bed. Didn't see the point. There were days when I drowned myself with food just to feel that shred of the cheapest possible happiness from the dopamine kick. I'm here and not in a psych ward and or diabetes ward because of therapy. Only because of therapy.
It's not a diabetes ward. It's an endocrinology ward. And it's not a ward. It's a clinic, for the record. Speaking as a diabetic. Lying in bed all day does sound awesome.
If that sounds good to you, seek help. Today.
Thanks.
No prob. Care for a drink, perhaps?
Not from around here, are ya?
My accent gave me away, right? When I first came here, I had the hardest time adjusting to the way people talk. It's just so thick.
This guy's very quiet.
Man, oh man. Let me tell you, it doesn't get easier with time. I've been here a while. And what brings you here? Sorry if I'm prying, but you're obviously a stranger.
Nosy, so why are you here?
I just love it when people answer my questions with more questions.
He gives you a wry smile.
Okay, then I'll leave you to it. I got stuff to do. Just call me if you need to top up.
Wow, rude, dude. Well, here comes Anita. Still not sure how to get to Maxine's place. I guess I can wait here until something interesting happens. Hard not to be distracted by the woman's intimidating appearance and the bartender's muscle ratio, but you managed to let time pass. What I'm learning is the importance of waiting to get clues, to witness events and have exact timestamps on them. As she heads up the stairs, Jason Burns, completely drenched, appears at the entrance. So that was the first time I actually noticed Jason Burns coming in. He takes a seat at one of the tables. You realize it's 8:43 p.m. 4 more minutes until the sky sets ablaze. It's unlikely something else worthy of note will happen before then. It's unlikely something else worthy of note will happen before then. So it's best to wait until the end. Every minute counts. Though I do feel like I have been in here. At the end, but I'm curious. The 4th minute is about to run out. The lady is still up on the roof and the guy is in the middle of his video call. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. One thing is, like, we haven't figured out how to fix the antenna on top of the roof, because I feel like fixing the water supply is something that could happen. We don't have enough willpower to do the golden apple. So I guess we're back at the dock. Some suffering is shared, even if suffering is unique. Yep.
Still with me, Mr. Harrow?
People I've encountered in chats who are dealing with the exact same fears and self-doubts. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's one of the great things about Twitch is the community of it all, right? So I'm a firm believer in that. Some problems are problems in your head. Stream as a distraction, switching off the panic mode when you see that problem wasn't big, then you couldn't move on. Yeah, right? It's like sometimes all you need is that reset. Do I have a question today? No.
All right then. You should go and check it.
Search Maxine's room.
Come on, you thief!
What do we have here? Jason Burns. You saw him at the Kuiper Belts completely drenched. And after the conversation with the bartender, she goes to the roof at 8:43. So there is a conversation we can have with the bartender after that conversation. I'm wondering if she can tell me about where Maxine's house is. No, she may not. We still don't have any sign of Frank. Maybe it's at the roadblock? Since learning about Maxine's house, we haven't gone to the roadblock, so... Here we go, dying again. We do love to do it. Nothing down this way. We do have a nice view here. Shame there's only one first time to take all this in. It is letting me sit here and wait, but I think it only allows me to wait until what's his face comes by. I'm gonna try it. Because I'm mostly curious about two things. Other than the monotonous burble of the creek, nothing interesting happens. You see the silhouette of the motel sign in the distance. You feel time keep passing. My phone's gonna ring at 8:15. What's that? Jason Burns riding a bicycle at 8:21. Poor guy's in a hurry. You already know he'll be soaked before he reaches the bar. Get up. Okay. There is no more than that. Well, we can go have this conversation with the bartender then at least. Status cane soaked. Here's the power outage. The flicker of the lights. Is there a way to influence the roadblock? I think so, but I haven't figured it out. What is this? This way leads down into the desert. A farmer ranch in the distance. I found it. It was just very well hidden. I'm definitely not going to get there right now. Okay, this is positive though. We actually know where we're going now. Sometimes it just takes a little sitting around, walking around, taking a look. Sometimes all you have to do is open your eyes and look at the environment around you. Sorry, but I gotta go, buddy.
Please.
We got things to do. To the Kuiper Belts. Lightly reminds me of Disco Elysium. Yeah, I've called it time looping Disco Elysium quite a few times. A new dart gun? That sounds fun. World ends in 12 hours and 54 minutes. Our world ends in 47 minutes. That's our time loop. So at 8, we start the day at 8 o'clock, and at 8:47, the world ends. Or something ends. $8:30. 8:37 to get here. The K Family Ranch. Homecoming heirloom offers a welcoming while casting the weight of generations behind the name. It's seen better days for sure. The sign, surely. The family, absolutely. One mirrors the other. An old swing hangs motionless, suspended over time. The chain creaks ever so faintly in the breeze, but the seat, having been torn away from the chains, refuses to sway. It reminds you of many different things. A chance to prove myself recklessly. I don't need an entire swing set to feel that rush. One seat is enough. Not exactly the pinnacle of comfort, but it does the trick so long as you keep your grasp on the chain and trust the shaky plank beneath me. I've spent far too long getting on by the bear's scraps. Too long. Keep that momentum. One rope, no seat. Somehow it's enough. Inspiration gained. I thought we were already at max inspiration. If this broken swing can spark a single moment of relief, imagine what else you can seize out there if you just hold on tight. Nice little lesson for us. Just want to explore a little bit. K's have stopped tending their garden. An overgrown shed. Love how many things there are just to give you, like, I don't know, like a sense of the world. Even here on the front porch, you can hear music blasting from somewhere inside the house, someone having the time of their lives. The door looks brand new, unlike the rest of this accumulation of crumbling stone and rotting wood that could have been called a house. Still, there's no doorknob. Next to the door, you notice an ancient bell button held together by layers of yellow duct tape. Ring the bell. Surprisingly, it works. A large cowbell hanging above the door rings in unison with the electric one deep inside the house, but nothing happens. No one could have heard you, not with the party raging somewhere in the house. Well, I don't think knocking is going to work if the bell doesn't. If you haven't heard the doorbell, what makes you think a knock will reach them? Starts to look like no one will open this door except you. Try to open the door. Perhaps it's unlocked. Wouldn't that be lucky? The wooden frame squeaks in protest and the door remains firmly shut. All right. Crack-a-boom. Break into the ranch house. Why don't you test your luck with the most obvious entrance point? First time, the door. Brother, I just tried that. Push the door with your back. Worth a try. Perhaps to stop being diplomatic and use more forceful tactics. Use your less than messed up shoulder to shove the door. Congratulations, it has become more messed up than normal. Luckily, the loop reset should fix that. Enough with the pleasantry. Let's bring this thing down. Kick the door. Feels like it moved a tiny bit, maybe? Kick it harder? I'm gonna break my foot doing this. The door definitely budges this time, accompanied by a faint splintering noise akin to kindling breaking. The wave of pain shooting through your leg suggests alternative source of the sound. Why does it always hurt? Maybe that's the point. See how much you can endure before you break, you or the door. All right, well, let's keep kicking the door then. That's not kicking. That's kicking. So there you are, kicking the door in a ruined house in the middle of nowhere. Why? You know what? We're impatient. We're not normally impatient. Just open up, damn it. Sure, that's your agenda. You won't achieve much from getting in, though. Only a few minutes left until everything resets, and then you'll have to break in again. I might learn something. The loop won't change that. And then, what good is knowledge if you can't use it to change anything? It's not about that. It's just kick, feel the pain, repeat. And believe that the next kick will somehow break the door. Hope that the next loop will somehow be the last. That's all you can do. Perhaps you're afraid to admit it's all hopeless because it would rid you of your only purpose, to break free of the loop. Ridiculous. I just need to kick harder. All right, no need to get angry. You'll kick the door down and you'll get out of the loop. I get it. And you'll be back to your life, the one that brought you here in the first place. I'll think about my new life once I'm out of this situation. Your new life? Nothing has changed. Yes, the loop has given you a clear purpose for the first time in years. Once it's over, though, once again, there will be nothing to fill the infinite void. Nevertheless, perhaps you hope the feeling of being given another chance will make things better. Yes, all I need is a fresh start. Indeed it is. That honeymoon period with a new you is always a delight, but eventually you'll start feeling the void again. And then, sooner or later, a moment of weakness will come and you'll trip down it once more. You might crawl out again, even more than once. But each time you'll return to the starting point with a little less optimism and energy. Even if you leave the loop will never leave you. It'll be different this time. Rage surges through you like a tsunami. You kick the door with every ounce of strength you have, even more than you knew you possessed. I'm in. +1 inspiration. You didn't really think it would work, but it did. Your fragile body won the battle against the hardwood. You have a way into the house, albeit not the fastest. Best case scenario, you only have a few minutes to spend inside. Enter the K Ranch house faster. There must be a faster and less painful way to enter the house than breaking the door each time. You heard Walter has a secret way of exiting, so there might be an alternative way to enter it too. Well, I have so much inspiration that that's not an issue. Let's look around a little bit. When someone stuffs things into a corner like this, it's usually to forget about them or move them aside temporarily with the promise they'll be sorted out later. This looks like a frozen in moment, like a snapshot of life. No one answering the ringing bell. Must be Mickey's house because Mickey didn't hear no bell. Dust-laden tapestry of family branches stitched with faded gold and the quiet arrogance of generations who built their kingdom on hooves and horns. An example of the relentless march of time, the patchwork of ancient portraits with calligraphied names alongside almost modern photographs in boring typed fonts. Try to read the names and make out the blurred pictures. Some of them are difficult to make out, but the stern figure on the bottom, that all the others stem from, commands attention with a big bushy mustache. You're staring at Maynard O.K., 1867 to 1952. Shouldn't a family tree go top to bottom? Usually, yes. This speaks volumes of Maynard's characters. He wanted everyone to know he is the pillar that the family stands on. From Maynard's elaborate frame, the vine splits neatly into two. Alexander K. rests beneath a portrait that mirrors Maynard almost exactly, minus a few decades and formidable whiskers. Quick tally of the years make it clear he never crossed the threshold into adulthood. Only lived to be 15. Second portrait, or rather its absence, draws far more attention. It was scrawled over in charcoal, or perhaps used as an ashtray. The name is just as hard to make out, but with some effort, you say Philip M.K. What about the portrait next to Philip? Probably his wife, Eleanor K. Image appears slightly faded, not with age, but from overzealous tending and polish. Turns out there's such a thing as caring too much. It's blurred a few lines, cloaking the face in an almost ethereal haze. The portraits appear more youthful, not the people themselves, but the ceramics they're cast in. This next one, is this the Walter? Despite his age, he looks strong, confident, strapping, not the man you imagined you heard he's missing. And Walter's wife? Helen K. Portrait shows a stern, blonde woman whose face says she's ready to carry babies or a rifle or both. And the two characters above them, Maxine and Alexander, born 1986, another set of twins for the family. Alexander doesn't look much like Maxine, though they are brother and sister. Yep, that's Maxine, a woman who takes no bull from anyone. She's staring at you from a gilded, ornate frame. Tree ends here. Guess that's all there is to see. Something is covered by sheets. A sofa or a couch could be any number of things. A beast that's sleeping. A light sleeper ready to pounce at any moment. Just to be sure, we peek under the sheets. An old couch. I was really hoping a cat was going to come out and be like, meow. Dead end street. Can I not get up this staircase? Yes, I can. Well, that's pretty good music. I think this is Maxine's room. Sure is. A booklet with a lot of text written in very small letters. The true nature unfolds. It's not a booklet, but a collection of folded papers. It's a warranty from a company that installed the house's front door. Fortilocks, doors, locks, and fortifications. Read it all carefully. No, let's just skim through it. We don't have a lot of time right now. The date and footer are the only useful parts. The door was installed 2027. Footalocker.com is a website. We could probably check that out at the bar. Could the support section hold the secret to unlocking the door faster? Probably. A lot of handiwork and tradition. Looks like something that's lingered in this house for generations. Notice you can't hear the music in here. Golden trophies line a rickety shelf, not a speck of dust or grime on them. What's the Golden Scroll trophy? Stockman's Quiz. Rue Spring Country Fair. Maxine K. first place. Oh, interesting. Frank's phone does have Wi-Fi automatically connected here. What the hell is a Stockman Quiz? Search the internet on your phone. Ah, yes, no internet. You could remember to check it later when you're online, but let's be real. This will be the only moment in your life that you want to find out about a Stockman's Quiz, and that moment is gone. Bruh, I have a second phone that's already connected to the internet. It should allow me to use that here. Galloping horseman shooting a rifle. It's made out of plaster. First place, Maxine K. Surely it can't be gold. We peel off the paint. Case of useless curiosity. Even if it was, you would have no use for it. Your nail breaks along with chunks of paint. Surprise, surprise, it's plaster. Check out the lasso. I'm always like, if I can break something, I'm going to do it because I know time loop is going to fix it. Back in the time loop, or did we ever leave? Did I stream yesterday, or did you only experience it? Maybe you were in a time loop, right? Maybe. I think you probably are. You have to admire the craftsmanship. The texture really feels like a real rope-bounded lasso. Cow herding tournament. Crimson Desert County Fair. Maxine K. first place. What's underneath all this gold paint? As the paint slowly chips away, your nails reveal a real rope underneath. Who probably ever used it used a ton of super glue to make it work. What about the Golden Spur? Rue Canyon County Fair. Horseback riding Maxine K. Who knew this place kept strong traditions for a way of life that's dead for more than a century? Some things are hard to kill. Maxine was groomed from a very young age for a specific way of life, and that doesn't entail owning and running a gas station. Hope she's happier now. All right, I have very little time left in here. Oh, there's one of these books. Is that what I want to look at right now? No, I kind of want to look at probably this box with a heart on it. You've already given a once-over duct tape to Dusty unused for some time. Yes, yes, give me all the clues. Open it. A few ornaments, some coloring pens, a hair clip, several pins, trinkets, little things that feel like memories more than objects. Oh, I'm hoping to find something in here about the dumper. Without the one who kept them, you can't be sure what any of it means. You can only guess. The ornaments, maybe from her last New Year's with her mom? Can't say for sure. Enough of the guessing game. Better to focus on what can be known without imagination. Put the lid back. This is a big book. Is it maybe a diary? The shelf holds photo albums. One of them made out of cowhide. Black and white pattern still vibrant despite the apparent age. Second album is made out of faux leather with a fake, even faker gold print of K family. A crumbling plastic cover barely holds the third album. Bothwood High School generation of 2000. Aha. We're going to go through that, and I bet the dumper's in it. It's filled with prom photos of pimple-infested teenage faces. I'm going to look for Maxine K. Maxine took her prom picture in jeans with a cowboy hat. How's that for a statement? Is Frank here? If you hadn't seen Anita's old camera recordings, you surely wouldn't recognize the man. Frank looks like life wasn't kind to him, but almost normal. And Alex sports punk spiky hair, a purple suit jacket, and a once black t-shirt with Leo Thatcher for mayor. 32 pictures of teens that made their best effort to look their best or their worst. You find an instant print picture from the celebration. Frank, Alex, Maxine, 2004. Frank and Alex are draining whiskey bottles with intertwined hands while Maxine is cheering them on. All right, let's look at the Cowhide album. The touch of preserved hide makes your skin crawl. You feel like this album is more than 100 years old, like it's going to crumble in your hands. The pages are yellow and thin, each filled with duct-taped instant print photographs, popular some 40 years ago. Look for a dedication, sign of ownership. The bottom right corner of the surface, you see mock scratched into the surface. So obscured with age that you can't even be sure it's there. So it's hers. Flip through the pages and see what the album's story is. Mostly filled with instant print pictures of a man in a cowboy hat and a blonde woman that's taller than him. Below every photo are names, Walter Kay and Helen Dewey. Seeing dozens of pictures from various locations, it seems to you Walter and Helen have explored a whole area, from mountain slopes to river canyons to vast open expanses of deserts. They look like a nice couple. There's a peculiar hunger that's evident in both of their faces, even through the faded photographs. The following pages are filled with professional photos of the still modest wedding, but still sporting a cowboy hat. The suit is new. Helen is lovely in her lace wedding dress and high heels. The date is February 2nd, 1982. Ranch house looks in the background of many celebratory pictures. It's practically unrecognizable from the ruin you saw today. I'm never going to have this happily ever after. Nope. You'll die alone and broken as that decrepit manor house. Moving on from the heartbreak, at the end of the album, you see 3 pictures. Helen in a torn hospital gown, her hair messed up, eyes bloodshot, Walter next to her gleaming with pride. Both of them holding a newly born baby, screaming and bloody smears and all. Helen is cradling hers protectively while Walter is proudly displaying what is undoubtedly his newborn son. Maxine and Alex K. September 17th, 1986. Why do human newborns barely look human? You try existing in a flesh capsule filled with salt water and looking human after you emerge from it after 9 months. You know what? Good point. Nobody getting out of the pods in the Matrix looks human. Babies also don't really look human. Walter and Helen, the children who are a few years old in the next photograph. Walter is holding Alex, who's dressed like his clone, along with a baby cowboy hat, while Maxine is with the mom. Last photograph was taken by a real professional, bright and true colors. Walter holding both of them on his shoulders, Helen by the hand. Behind them, a large blue and red banner, Walter K. for mayor for our children. All right, let's thumb through the last album here. The first few pages hit you right in the fields. All of them are packed to the brim with pictures of a funeral. Oh no, not the children! Don't be ridiculous. Both Maxine and Alex are alive and well today. Why do you always have to think the worst? Besides, look at the size of that coffin. One photograph stands out. Walter in a black suit and a black cowboy hat. Black-clad Alex and Maxine by his side. All of them holding a fistful of soil, preparing to throw it into the gaping grave. February 15th, 1990. So I think we've seen that grave. Maxine lost her mom when she was, 4 years old? Old enough to remember her, far too young to have coping mechanisms. Tough is an understatement. The following pages are filled with instant print landscapes of Rue Valley, horse or two with some of the shots. Someone went on exploration expeditions again, but the pictures look wrong. The frames are askew. There's too much light. A young child was handling the camera. A particular picture from the series pops out. Walter staring into the endless desert, cheeks and eyes bloodshot. Below it only says Pops 1991. Mac, hello. Welcome on in. Beniti, hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Looks like he found some truth in all that emptiness. Whatever truth he saw, he didn't bring him any solace, only profound sorrow. The next pages are filled with similar photographs. Walter on a porch, an empty bottle of Numb next to him, which is the whiskey. Walter next to his ranch house that's deteriorating even more rapidly. Walter with kids who look so full of life they're leeching his own vitality. Another photograph from the graveyard stands out. Mom's anniversary. 1993. Everyone clad in black. Maxine sitting on Walter's knee wearing a cowboy hat. Alex further away, his arms folded and full of rocks. Walter was favoring Alex in early childhood, but Maxine is wearing the hat now. Something must have happened to make Walter switch favorites, something that has to do with rock collecting. You notice flipping through pages and start noticing a pattern established with the last picture. Maxine is always around Walter, always dressed like him. And Alex, he's always around, but occupied with something else. One of the photographs from the period pops out. Maxine is determined, holding a golden trophy shaped like a lasso. Walter is gleaming with pride, and Alex is further away, face filled with dismay. My first golden lasso, 1997. Walter looks far happier than Maxine. Just tell you who actually wanted that trophy more. At the very end of the album, you find an ancient photograph so old it's almost faded away. A horse in full gallop, a rider standing in stirrups, spinning a lasso. All right, I've seen enough. Preemptive goodbye. We're running out of time here. Photo of little Alex that you saw in his sister room comes back to you. His mother died. His father decided he was not good enough to be the next patriarch. No wonder he felt abandoned. So he isolated himself not to be heard again. And then another memory unravels before you. You stand in the hallway of your family home. The scent of mom's perfume still lingers, or maybe it's your imagination. And at your feet sits a suitcase frayed at the edges, one of those old sturdy kinds that feels like it could last forever. The silence breaks, muffled running water, your squeal of hinges. The father steps out of the bathroom and stares at you, bewildered. Eugene, what are you doing here? Did you just get back from a trip? Oh. No, Dad, we're going on a trip, you and me. Really? That's great. I haven't traveled since your mom. Where's the old girl? The spark of adventure drains out of him, replaced by worry and confusion. He looks around and listens, waiting for a familiar cue that someone of utmost importance around here somewhere. This one's just for the boys in the family. Father and son on an adventure, even better. I'm sure your mother won't mind. There's something frightening in how happy he is about what's coming. Strange how the joy of people you love can make you want to step back from them. In moments like this, you feel the void where mom's presence used to be. She grounded him and she steadied you. Now all the burden is yours. Take your father by the hand. His rough grip is warm. It should impart a sense of security, like when you feel little. Instead, it makes you feel worse. There was a time which you could read with a glance, which makes being with this father here now so heavy, especially when you think about what's coming. You pick up the suitcase. It isn't heavy considering a whole life fits inside, or what's left of a life. Oh, this is him going to like a home. You're part of it, maybe the last link, maybe the most important, which is why you'd rather drop the case and run, but this needs to be done and there's no one else to do it. Where are we going, son? You didn't tell me. We're going somewhere nice so you can rest. Rest from what? I hardly do anything these days, but if you say so, I'll follow your lead. He's like a child, full of trust in you as you prepare to hand him to the unknown, a place that's supposed to be better. I still feel like I didn't do enough for him. With slipping away piece by piece, nothing ever feels enough, but the greatest act is giving him the best he can get. It hurts. Watching him slowly disappear would hurt more. This is the best option for both of you. Whatever the case, the road is laid out before you, and all you have to do is follow it hand in hand with your dad in his suitcase. The drive is enveloped in silence. He stares out the window, lost in thought, and the quiet starts to gnaw at you. Should you say or do something? What are you thinking about, Dad? How this town has changed. I hardly recognize it. Everything changes just to end up the same. That's what your mother used to say. Two things catch in your chest. The way he seems estranged from his own hometown, and how you felt the same about the city since Mom left. Do you remember when we went there? You point at a building. You regret it the moment the words leave your mouth, both for him and you. He looks where you point and only shrugs. You can't tell if he doesn't remember or just doesn't care. Both reasons are terrible, each in his own way. Better to keep driving and keep quiet. You need to stay steady eyes on the road, a little distance between you and him. You pull into the lot in front of a large house, fenced so tightly the ground floor is almost hidden from view. The only glimpse of the inner yard is through the black iron gate. Dad, I need to tell you something. He watches you focus carefully, fully focused like he used to. I've brought you to a place where people like you, so you won't be alone and you'll get full care. Every word feels like a knife you're pressing into him again and again, and as the blood flows, he keeps looking at you, not understanding what you're really saying. No protest, no resistance, no let's talk about it, nothing. Just a silent nod that lands like a knife, but now it's in your chest and it stays there. Then let's go. You take the suitcase and lead Dad to the gate. By it sits a small booth, and from it a chubby guard watches you with a tired, questioning look. I have an appointment admission for Raymond Harrow. The crunch of gravel on the path underfoot is the only sound as you approach the building. What kind of place is security at the door? Did you get famous, Eugene, and forget to tell me? He laughs, and you're briefly grateful. He hasn't called you Uggy in a really long time, and it stings in a way you didn't expect. At the entrance, a middle-aged nurse in scrubs greets you, tag name unreadable, obligatory pen clipped to her pocket. Good day. You must be Eugene, and this must be your father, Raymond. So nice to meet you. The stretched out vowels scrape across your nerves. You didn't know a voice could itch your brain like this. Every neuron is lighting up. Force a smile. Ma'am, no need to drag out your words. I'm not deaf to certain syllables. You miss this spark in him, his quick retorts. Only when it flashes out like this do you feel how absent it's been, how badly you need to stand here and watch that wink out forever. You need not to stand here and watch that wink out forever. He's so sweet. We're going to get along just fine. Is that his suitcase? May I take it? Yeah. You're handing over something far more valuable. Your father. Might as well round up the transaction. She takes your father by the hand and leads him, talking a mile a minute. She turns back to you, confused, mouthing open as if to say something. Dad, I love you. He nods, and in his little heartbeat, the nurse pulls his attention away with her restless patter. The two of them fade away, and you spot a house slipper on one of his feet and a shoe in the other. This is too much. You need to leave while you still can, while it still feels okay, while the picture of him being at least partially himself still lives in your head. I want to run away, but I'm going to grit my teeth and hold it together. Nurse is back, grinning from ear to ear. It's settled him in. I've settled him in. He's still disoriented, but that's normal. It'll probably take a few days to adjust. He'll probably ask to go home, so please avoid responding to that request. Do the paperwork, and you can see him in his room before you head out. No, you can't see him again. Not now. It's too much. I'll come back tomorrow to finish that, okay? She gives you a practiced look of someone who's heard this 100 times. No judgment, no comfort, just pure understanding. See you in a few days, then. I'll tell him you had to leave in a rush. It's done. Finished. You placed them somewhere safe. I did everything I could. It's not in my hands anymore. You did more than most. You offered him a safe haven right until the end. He soon starts to forget who you are, so it won't matter to him if you're there or not, but for you, it would be too hard. A tough day, and you should leave it at that. You need to get in the car and go home. You're home. The tiredness really starts to creep in. Dad's story is down to its last pages, and soon even those are going to be blank. No need to continue reading it. You can just close the book before the end. Oh. That's heart-wrenching, dudes. That's absolutely heart-wrenching. You think about how genetics works to form a new entity, the same as the old two entities, right? Baby making is fascinating. Genetics of former entities are coming together. It's not like the new entities suck out the souls of the old ones. Yeah, you're basically cloning them and merging them together. At least that's my understanding of science. YouTube confused about what we're talking about. YouTube's always confused about what we're talking about. That's nothing new. Alex's mother's died, and his father decided he's not good enough to be the next patriarch. No wonder he felt abandoned. He could isolate himself. We're going to commit to this. Have you really been abandoning others to prevent being abandoned, as Dr. Fink says? You should talk to him about this. All right, we got a few things to talk to the doc about. Is this just one of these books? Yeah. Ow! No, I had like 2 things left to look at. So damn close. Thoughts about it can be seen very philosophical, right? At least we know how to get there, and we know how to get there faster. Well, no, we don't know how to get there faster, but we can go learn how to break down the door faster. Now, I just had a little kitty cat come in here.
Mr. Harrow?
Okay. She's still in here? Is she over there? Can't tell. We'll have to see. Yeah, I have a question, Doc. Can you help me figure out whether an insight I had recently makes sense? An insight? That sounds promising. I suggest we leave it for tomorrow. My brain is on fire after our first session, and it'd be waste not to use it while it's still sizzling. All right. When you put it like that, let's hear what it's all about. I've realized I had some issues with abandonment, especially when it comes to people closest to me. His bushy eyebrows jump up, a small jolt of surprise and interest that you can feel as much as you can see. It's an important insight, Mr. Harrow. Can you give me a few examples of when you felt abandoned? When my mother passed, it felt like I was suddenly left on my own. That makes sense. An important relationship was gone for good with all the good and bad. And after my partner left me. You were left on your own by someone you'd chosen to trust that you believed would stand by you through good and bad. Any other moment. My father's dementia made me feel completely cast away. For the people around us, the one who's fading, the failing of a mind can be even harder to bear than the failing of a body, like watching someone disappear piece by piece. As he slowly vanished like that, you could only feel as though you've been left behind, not on purpose, but just as surely. When did all this happen? About 4 years ago, all in the same year. That must have been a hell of a period. As we go back over these old moments, tell me, how did you react to the abandonment? I tend to shut down and pull away from people when I suspect they're going to leave. I do it to avoid the pain. Very well put, Mr. Harrow. I'm not sure I could have said it clearer myself. Did something happen recently that made you aware of how important this issue is? I remembered an event from some time ago. Tension and stress push all kinds of things to the surface, including situations which we've tried to suppress, the very ones that can give us a head start in understanding a problem. Surprised me too, honestly. Not all surprises are bad. That's something worth reminding ourselves of, myself included. Very good news. Now comes the hard part. This is only the beginning of your journey towards changing it. Without work, it remains just an idea with nothing solid behind it. The tendency to protect yourself from pain is natural, but sometimes we steer away from both the pain and the relationship itself just to avoid getting hurt. When we do that, we often end up losing far more than we ever gain. He stops there, watching you or listening for the way your breathing changes, studying your reaction. Take a moment and think about it. The relationships you've had so far, how do they look now from the position of shutting yourself off to avoid pain? Like a streak of missed opportunities, and I'm the one to blame. No one needs to be blamed here, Mr. Harrow. You did the best you could given the circumstances and what you knew about yourself at the time. This is probably happening across all kinds of relationships in your life. Some you've noticed, some you haven't. It's something to keep in mind, especially as you start trying to change how you relate to people. Which brings me to an important point. Sometimes a conscious decision to distance yourself might work for a while, but eventually it will fail, and that's okay. You can't just tell yourself, I'm not going to do this anymore, and expect it to become magically true. Change doesn't happen overnight, especially not when we're dealing with ideas and experiences buried deep in the subconscious. But don't worry, Mr. Harrow. We'll take it one step at a time. Haste makes waste, as they say. We'll work ahead. The work ahead will, in time, make room for healthier relationships, whether with new people or those already in your life. How do you feel about the future, Mr. Harrow? How do you feel about it? Like something might actually change for the better. That's the core premise of all therapeutic work, the hope that things can be different and that they should change for the better. There's still a long road ahead of us, but you should see this not as a roadblock pushing you off course, rather as a small booster, something that can speed up your progress. I want you to acknowledge your courage in talking about this and your willingness to believe you can make your life better with my support. Nod. That was surprisingly less painful than you imagined. Willpower gained. Don't run away. It's not like it solved anything, but still a glimpse of a future can work wonders on a tired soul.
All right, then. You should go and check it.
Huh. Well, we learned a lot. This is for sure. Finally, some content, right? As you reach conclusions about philosophical schools have reached throughout time, am I thinking deeply? Is it really something a few people can do? Most people don't share them, right? Imagine how confused will the people in the future when they dig out Asian streams. Oh, you know, we always got something interesting in the chat. It's one of the big reasons I keep it around. Let's wrap this bad boy up. You've been abandoning others to prevent being abandoned, just as Dr. Fink says.
Spit it out already.
Well, let's go to the bar. Oh, I can go straight to the ranch, but let's go to the Kuiper Belt.
Come on, you thief.
I'm gonna try really hard to say it correctly today. I am glad that we have the shortcut now, at least. Turn our phone off. Find a quicker way into the K Ranch House. Go to fortadorlocker.com. Search leads to the official website of the door's manufacturer. You're greeted with a blurry animation of a door closing, followed by the sound of numerous locks. The screen transitions to a home page, which cleverly resembles the door from the intro. The logo prominently dominates the upper part of the screen. Left side of the screen, 4 distinct locks are arranged in a neat column, each one serving as a button. I don't know, man. Tap the padlock. Right side of the screen transitions to a story about a family-owned business. Blah, 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 blah. Company's motto: we keep the good things in and bad things out. It's a pretty good motto. Tap the combo lock. Tapping the icon makes the keypad flash 1111 pound, and the right part of the screen transitions into a big catalog. You see all the different types of locks, a special offer, limited series of handcrafted doors, specially designed to prevent ghosts from entering the house. These unique catalogs were developed in collaboration with a famous ghost hunting TV show. Try the classic lock. An FAQ and support. Looks outdated. It uses an old system of threads. One creates a thread with a question. Okay, so it's like a BBS. Search for the SP3000 XT. Thousands of results pop up. I better add more keywords. Locked escape exit. I'm gonna say no key card. Escape? Exit? Results are filtered down to a few posts. One of them seems to be relevant. Need help. Dad keeps getting through a locked door. Open the post. A user named Max86. Okay, so this is obviously Maxine. About an issue with her father who was suffering from dementia. They installed a door to prevent him from leaving the house unattended. He keeps disappearing from the house even though the door is locked and tempered and has no key card. They barred the windows on the ground floor, making it possible for him to leave that way. It can't be. Yeah, it obviously is. The father refuses to explain how he manages to exit, leaving the family puzzled and seeking help to understand how he gets out without being seen. A generic solution at first. Check the card reader's power. Try turning it off and on again. They reset the device, but it keeps happening. Other users join the discussion, post their solutions, blah, 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 blah. It evolves into a quagmire of arguing between users, stale memes, bot posts, trolling, and occasional warnings from the admins. You'd rather not read it. Check the last page. From the official support, marks it as resolved, linking to one of the user posts inside the thread. This is too real. You come here with a problem and then refuse to listen to hundreds of well-intentioned pieces of advice posted by official support and well-meaning Fortolock users. If none of our suggestions are correct, I say it's clear that your father has superpowers, either flying or teleporting. Well, that's kind of toxic. Perhaps you should search inside the thread for a possible answer. Basement? Nobody thought of that. Auto unlock? On page 21, someone mentions the possibility of an auto unlock event. Someone else replies saying it's impossible, followed by a long rant about the QMS standards and their unwillingness to comply. From the moderator, informs the user their post has violated the forum rules and therefore being permanently banned. Nobody mentions this again. QMS 1100 standard. Man, if only we knew someone who was like obsessed with locks that we could talk to about this kind of thing. Bug. Software bug. Reply from the moderation informs them that they're banned. Brother. Page 11, someone brings up the rest of the family. Max replies that her brother is the only one with another key card and he of all people would have no reason to let the father out. Some users prod the poster to double check maybe the brother's playing her for reasons only known to him. What about the paranormal? Someone reads an anti-ghost door. Descends into a clash between the haters who claim it's all fake and fans of the show who defend it. Max reminds everybody that her father is still alive, so whether or not the door is ghost-proof is not a factor. She receives the answer that he probably won't be for long, and it's a known fact that many future ghosts begin demonstrating at least some ghost-like abilities shortly before their death. Tailgating? Post on page 15 about a famous musician, Henry Doody, who used tailgating to access many places. Walking silently between people entering or leaving locked buildings and waiting for the right moment to slip by unnoticed. Yeah, it's very common. The original poster answers that they closely monitor their father when they come and go, always ensuring the door is locked behind them. Upper floor? You find a post from Bungie for Life that the father might be jumping through a window on the non-boarded up upper floor. Administrator appears with a reminder that the company is not liable if someone is injured. The windows on the upper floor are too high, and the father would definitely hurt himself if he tried to jump out. It's a dead end. What about ventilation ducts? Alternate routes out of the house. Original poster explains they live in an old house which lacks ventilation ducts. Certain modern structures listed a hazard attached file can lead to hazards. An ad for a construction company. You've exhausted all your search ideas. This is about Walter, not about the door. Perhaps he is becoming a ghost. Whatever the case, you could try to find more about his past disappearances. His past police records would be a good place to start. Police records? Ask the police for Walter's police records. Botwood Sheriff Department. Sheriff Cody speaking. He's caught in a downward spiral of boredom, and your call is just an insignificant interruption in the grand scheme of things. No way he'll just give you that info. Perhaps if you introduce yourself to someone else, come up with something. You're a content writer after all. Deputy Cody, this is Jack John Lawson, private investigator. Some assistance, quick.
Deep breath, pal. Everything's under control. So, what's this all about?
Got to come up with a good cover story, right? Yeah, we talked to this guy before. You can't be sure whether you sold that lie that well, or this guy is so bored out of his mind that he would indulge you, even if you told him there's an outgoing invasion from outer space. Here, Invicta. I suppose you're aware that Walter K is missing?
K? Cousin Walter K? Mister, I have to inform you that Walt's disappeared before, many times in fact, but he always comes back home, alive and well. Maxine, his daughter that is, he even stopped calling us.
It's scary that you're willing to wait until this man shows up dead or alive.
Those are procedures, mister. If nobody reports a missing case, there's nothing I can do about it.
Right. We did submit a missing case before, but...
Even when a person goes missing, I have to wait 24 hours before I can act. I just don't know what you expect me to do about it.
Tone of his voice says he wouldn't leave his office even if it was on fire. For now, insight into the records the police have on him could prove useful.
Police records? That would be very illegal.
It was worth a try.
That's for Uncle Walt, so...
Cousin Walt, not Uncle Walt.
Give me a few to boot up the app.
Vibing with the music in here. We had a really nice moment yesterday where we played the piano and Anita sang. It was haunting. Even through the phone line, you can hear the slow, lazy keyboard strokes like Cody has got all the time in the world.
That's the devil. You're lucky the sheriff insisted on record digitalization, or this one here would be a blank slate. All right now, what exactly are you looking for?
Mentions of earlier disappearances.
Sure, a whole bunch of them. For instance, there's one 5 months ago, and again 8 months ago, reporter missing but spent all the time in the old corral. One more. Exactly 1 year ago. Reporter missing again.
What was that about the corral?
Well, there's an old corral for cows and such, you know, next to the K house. We found our pal there, shouting and trying to train ghost horses.
Ghost horses. Perhaps he is becoming a ghost.
Case closed.
So he went missing exactly 1 year ago?
Yep, to the day. The file says Maxine reported him missing. Vanished out of thin air, she said. But Walt returned like nothing happened 36 hours later.
Oh my god, Walt is time looping. Walt is also time looping. Metal Gear?
No one knows. The old man ain't talking about it. You ask me, he went to Gray City for some geezer-loving action. I'm telling you.
Open up that case from 5 months ago.
Let me see. Oh, that's nothing, mister. Old man supposedly disappeared. Maxine panicked and reported it, but Walt returned home in under 24 hours.
Any older cases?
Yeah, sure. Let me scroll down a little. Had to go all the way back to 91. Phew. Cousin was a model citizen, seems like. And even that report from 91 is only for public intoxication. Another from 89 when Apex Orr accused him of inciting violence at a rally. There's also a report from 88. Brought him in for questioning.
What's the questioning about in 88?
I ain't gonna read you the whole transcript, mister. Summary says Walt was brought in for questioning about grave desecration.
Oh my god, he dug up his wife.
detective concluded that Walt had nothing to do with it, because his alibi was rock solid. Case closed.
Well, what about the
Now
incitement?
you're almost asking for a history lesson. Back in the day, Cousin Walt ran for mayor and lost. Or won. Depends who you ask. He declared the election stolen, people rallied, caused all kinds of mess. It almost came to blood, let me tell you. At least, that's what I heard. I was nothing but a twinkle in my father's eye back then.
Yeah, all right. Then what happened in 191?
File doesn't say much, just that a patrol picked up Cousin in Bothwood. He was shit-faced drunk and was running through the streets naked.
Okay. Is there anything about disappearances?
Yeah, let me look. No, this one's from 82. Unrelated.
He's mumbling to himself long whispers that almost sound like words.
Hell, have to scroll down even further. I'm in 1960. Only something about Philip reporting cattle rustling and accusing Walt, but nothing relevant. Yeah, gotcha. September 25th, 1948. Very first record. Actually, is an official warning given to his father, because Kay was a minor back then.
Can you please read that report in its entirety?
Well, damn. But, alright. For Cousin Walt.
He starts reading and it reminds you of a man slowly stumbling around a mountain in the night, afraid he'll fall into a bottomless pit.
This notice serves as an official warning regarding repeated incidents involving your son, Walter K., being found on the new railway bridge, unattended and involved in mischievous activities. Previously, on September 16th, our officers responded to another report of Walter missing and found him in similar circumstances. It is imperative that you take immediate action to ensure the constant supervision and appropriate conduct of your child in public settings. Failure to address these recurrent safety and behavioral concerns may result in further action from law enforcement, including potential legal repercussions. Please prioritize the well-being and responsible behavior of your child to prevent any future incidents of this nature. That's the end of the report. Not sure if you picked up anything from it, but as I've said, there's nothing else on Cousin Walt.
I think I have everything I need. Apologies for wasting so much of your time.
Oh, no. No need to apologize. Hope any of this helps you find Uncle Walt. Wouldn't want anything happening to the old man.
The line is dead. All right. That didn't really give us much. He used to vanish out of the house even as a child. The earliest formal warning dates back to 1948. Maybe there's a chance of finding something relevant in the documents of the house. All right, well, spent a lot of time on the phone just then, but sub walk down the road. His wife is a zombie. I mean, here's the thing, right? Frank is also saying that Frank is also time looping, and he's also saying that his wife is still alive. So I'm a bit curious about two people potentially time looping and also saying that their wives are still alive. All right, break into the house again. Got 2 minutes. Let's finish Maxine's room. The bed, simply made, nothing remarkable except Maxine's, and it has the ear of a family heirloom. Search the bed. You find nothing except the nagging thought that it looks far more comfortable than the bed in your own room, despite being much, much older. Carries a faint scent of lavender and herbs, probably from a homemade softener. They really don't make them like they used to. Stereo system, 90s or early 2000s, countless hours blasting angsty music through a very similar device. Might as well turn it on. The stereo hums to life and LED lights flicker across the control panel. 2 cassette decks, a radio receiver, a CD player that can hold 7 discs, and the big bass boost option. This is so true. This is very, very 90s. Check out the CD player. 7 disc capacity. Wow. Whole 7 discs. You could load up an entire week's worth of music or just sit there showing off the potential. Whoever last used it clearly didn't have the vision for this kind of commitment. There's only 1 disc inside. Well, eject the disc. It's a burned CD. It is marked not Gasterbiter Blues. Music from Jace. Gasterbiter Jace could be Jason the Dumper Burns. No, it has to be him. He definitely looks old enough to still be burning audio discs. Speaking of audio discs, don't you still drive a car with a CD player? If you thought ahead and burned a couple of discs before coming here, you could have been cruising through the desert to music you actually like. Well, let's turn on the big bass boost. Why isn't it on already? What kind of person would turn it off? Why is there even an option to turn it off? Play the disc. The disc begins to spin and the speakers come alive with a surge of grinding beats, metallic melodies, and harsh synths screaming like factory alarms while a thunderous bass line rumbles beneath it all. Hell yeah, it's Iron Wave. The metallic chaos hits you like a fist in the chest, energizing and unapologetic. What are the cassette decks? There's one on the right, and the left one is empty. Eject. It doesn't move at first. It's a DIY mixtape. What was written on the label is faded and smudged. Play it. A slow, pulsing bass fills the room over it. Smooth, plaintive voice glides over a steady rhythm of accordion and guitar. The lyrics speak of leaving everything behind and long nights spent far from home. Okay, we have 1 minute left in here. We've already searched these, but they're still orange. Okay. We have searched Maxine's room. Perhaps Alex will recognize the nickname of Jace. This is probably Walter's bedroom. There's a gun, a cowboy hat, and what looks like a diary. The front page features Walter K., younger and barely recognizable because of his long hair and full beard, among a group of heavily armed people with knives, assault rifles, and dynamite sticks. Grassroots to Push Fires, Walter Group and Her Children by Julia Georgeson. Read the blurb. Bothwood Chronicles proudly presents the 5th installment of Georgeson's books, A Tale of Three Towns, the impact of economic decline and anthropological analysis. This issue is dedicated to the troubling times of the 80s, the arrival of Apex Ore, the reaction of local populace from workers to farmer or oligarchs. This issue covers the formation of the infamous grassroots Walter Group and its transformation into the short-lived yet potent Populist for Our Children movement and the enduring impact of both Rue Valley, published collaboratively by Bothwood Chronicles, Grey City University, and the Coral Destiny Community Relations Center. 5th issue. It's a wonder they got past the first one. People of Rue Valley clearly like to read about themselves. Boom. It's never a journal with all the secrets clearly on the first page. But we have enough to remember the golden apple now. Mathamito, hello, welcome, welcome. A week, 7 discs would last you less than a day. I mean, back in the day, we also listened to discs repeatedly. You weren't just like, well, that was a good album, let's play the next one. You'd be like, well, that was a good album, let's listen to that 52 more times, right? Play every song only twice a day. The average person might be able to endure that for a week. So this was the dream about climbing a tree. I guess we can talk to the doc about it now. Are you still with us, Mr. Harrow?
You're with me, Mr. Harrow?
Yeah, and I got a question. I need your help to unwrap a dream that's troubling me. Go ahead and share your dream. Share the dream about the golden apple. This is basically about climbing a tree and all the fruits are rotting and we keep reaching for the golden apple at the top. And then I woke up still shivering. Dr. Fink leans forward a bit, eyes fixed on you with sharpened interest. Thank you for trusting me with this, Harrow. It's a powerful, poignant dream. Several elements demand our attention. The tree, the apple, the branches that break, and the other fruit you ignore. Where would you like to begin? Every branch that snapped made it harder to go back down. A very obvious metaphor for burned bridges and forsaken alternatives. Each broken branch is a path closed off, an opportunity sacrificed in service of a single goal. The higher you go, the more you destroy your own safety net, and at one point, descent becomes more terrifying than continuing. The other apples, the ones you brush against, ripen within reach. The flowers turning to fruit, rotting away part really stuck with me. Life goes on, people change, opportunities come and go, whether we pay attention or not. You choose to ignore all the other apples, even when you were starving. Even when the golden one you had turned to stone, all these others still held life. To reach them would have felt like a betrayal. What a loyalty to the topmost fruit, an obsessive allegiance almost, don't you think? Perhaps we should consider some of the other symbols. The golden apple wasn't even that special at first, but the more I climbed, the more I needed to get to it. Let's consider this transformation. Its value was not inherent. It was assigned by your focus. Your pursuit made it golden, and ultimately it turned to stone. What does that shift tell you? From unremarkable to radiant to lifeless? I couldn't see it well until I climbed high enough. Mr. Harrow, I don't think this dream is connected to your concerns about declining eyesight, is it? It looks to me the apple was a potential that through fixation became an idol, and idols inevitably disappoint. When you finally see that it's petrified, it's no longer living fruit, but like a monument. A monument to what? To my dream? In a way, yes, a monument to a dream that was never realized, a fossilized dream. A moment of your refusal to let go of a singular rigid idea of success. Let's shift to another symbol, the tree. I completely understand what you mean. It was your entire world. What does the tree represent to you? Is it a path, a version of yourself? The only place I could possibly be, there was nothing around the tree. The tree isn't just a means to an end, but the entire structure of the effort itself. It's the journey you've committed to. In psychological terms, we might see this as an identity narrative, the specific path you believe you must climb. And you begin to climb it with soft virgin hands. The calluses form only later. It was more unwelcoming as you climb. The climb itself reflects your imagined life story, but it gets harder and harder the higher you climb. Why do you think that is? As I climb, I'm getting older and weaker. So the rising wind, the increasing rough bark are both the consequences of you getting older. You can't shake the feeling of being attacked. And just as you open your mouth to defend your case, he disarms you. It's a valid interpretation, but let me offer another perspective. Initially, the dream was hopeful. The process of reaching and climbing for so long without reaching the apple is what really hardened you, weakened you, and metaphorically aged you. As you climb higher, the surroundings seem to echo the mental and emotional challenges you face, and not necessarily the material reality. That cold, biting ear might reflect the isolation that comes with clinging to an ambitious goal for so long. He leans back, his chair creaking softly. He looks at you not as a patient, but as a fellow traveler who has just described a very familiar prison. Let's synthesize this, Mr. Harrow. You've committed a path and a goal. The pursuit itself infused that goal with unbearable significance. Along the way, you sacrificed other paths, other versions of your life, breaking the branches that could have supported a different future. Now you find yourself trapped and clinging to a plan yet you can't follow anymore. The identity of a climber who will reach the golden apple is now your cage. To let go of that dream feels like death of who you thought you were supposed to be for so long, so you chose a slower, more agonized death by stagnation. How could someone like me climb down? You can't climb down. Those branches are long broken, but looking at the choices either up or down is part of the problem. It's always branching upwards, and it's never too late to switch your focus to another reachable fruit. Well, think about it. That's all I ask. Identity loss. Let it breathe in your mind for now. Later, we'll return to this dream, and the picture will be clearer, the edges sharper. We'll explore its nuances in our next session. Detail from the lady with the big hat's phone call comes back to you. What could be Robin's reason for turning down the university offer? It would have given her a chance at a better life, far better than being a motel receptionist in the middle of nowhere, and yet another memory comes at you so vivid you're there again. You sink into your favorite and only chair, staring at the laptop screen, waiting. Another pointless little pop-up at the bottom reminds you 5 more minutes until the meeting. The first one came and went not so more than an hour ago during one of your traditional self-sabotaging writing sessions. You wouldn't have noticed at all if you hadn't synced, almost mockingly, with the blinking cursor on the blank document you'd opened for longer than you'd like to admit. 5 minutes, just enough time for your mind to drift or decide which version of you will log into the online meetup. Both possibilities unsettle you. Better try something else. Check my webcam. The rickety clip struggles to keep the webcam perched atop the screen, but it'll have to do. Your laptop, lacking one of its own, groans under the task. It's a perfect excuse to finally get a new one. After all, it's not only for work, but in fact your true calling. Try the webcam. Bingo, a perfect angle. A bit low res, but it hides your fatigue better than expected. The clock has not yet hit 7:59 when the ringing starts and the notification announces Patty Webloom HR is calling you. Why do they call early? This is so unprofessional. Norath, hello, welcome. How you doing? Welcome on in. You have the soundtracks to 6 Peter Jackson Middle-earth movies that pretty much only get played on repeat depending on the albums. It's possible to listen to them repeatedly. There you go. It's not about having 7 different CDs. It's about having a 7-disc CD set, really. You tell them or follow up with a strongly worded email. Hello, Mr. Harrow. How are you today? It wasn't really a question you're supposed to answer. Just play along. The last time you spoke face-to-face was when Webloom first hired you as an independent contractor a few years back. Greetings, Patty. What do I owe the pleasure? And there it is. That practice fake smile of her always makes you ache from the inside out. I'll have you know Mr. Weber will be joining this meeting, us personally for this meeting. I won't spoil anything, but there are major updates regarding your status with the company. The CEO, why? Okay. Before she gets a word out, another face barges in, pushing hers to the left of the screen. He's in his mid-40s, slightly tanned, with a huge golden mane strategically combed over what you suspect is a bald patch. The sun behind him looks almost comically bright. It's the man. In another universe, he'd be a certified comic book villain, but here he is, smiling wide with what seems to be far too many pearly whites. Eugene, Gino, how are you, my guy? Patty here tells me you're a genius with words, if you catch my drift. Yeah, Patty here wouldn't recognize good writing unless it opens with, I hope this email finds you well. So I've been thinking, we can't let this guy slide. We got to get him in our ranks officially instead of treating you like a hired gun. Patty, what did I say? I said, I quote, this individual has new content director written all over him, and he's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. What do you say? Of course, you don't need to answer right away, but here at Webloom, we're practically a family, so I wouldn't mind an unofficial yes on your part. Wow, I'm speechless. Haha, not a good look for a wordsmith such as yourself, but I get it. I got you tangled in our web, and trust me, I let nothing fly. I gotta run, but I'm leaving you in the hands of our lovely Patty over here, who can discuss details with her. See you around, Jeno. He disappears like a Jenny, along with that smug secondhand sunshine. Through the mental fog, you nod along as autopilot as she recites benefits, salary, bonuses, corporate culture, 9-to-5 team building, like reading the back of a cereal box. And just when you feel yourself slip away, she links you back to reality. I'll write you the contract draft first thing tomorrow. Any questions you have, we'll walk through on a separate meeting. All right, Mr. Harrow? Right. Good to hear. Welcome aboard, Mr. Harrow. I liked using the wrong right there. Half mine, hello, welcome. She pops on out as well. The questions you're left with have nothing to do with the ones you might expect, but you're in no shape to unpack them now. Just stare at the screen. Thank you for the 14 months, half pint.
Hook we know auto prime.
That's because they don't want to make it auto money. Probably because of the scammers, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the individual prime. Full disclosure, Middle-earth playlist apparently has 300 songs and lasts for 21 hours, 30 minutes, so maybe not a good example. It's still pretty good, though. You know, you got to sleep at some point. You can sleep for 3 hours and 30 minutes. 2 hours and 30 minutes, I guess. You stay like this for a while until the screensaver catches your eye. The manufacturer's logo drifts, changing color with every bounce. You wait for it to hit a quarter clean, and it never does. You know you're only one breakthrough away. One spark, one panel, one perfect line that will tie everything together. Why did they have to test your resolve now? Well, I do have bills to pay. Yeah, your part-time content writing work slowly wrapped itself around your life like ivy around a dying fence. Every assignment has you wearing a new voice, a different pseudonym, another persona. At first, it felt like harmless roleplay, and now you're not sure where the mask ends and you begin. It was all meant to be temporary, a financial crutch while you work on important stuff, but in reality, you rarely get to return to your true self, a graphic novel writer. But if this part-time work takes up all your life anyway, wouldn't it be smart to admit it's not working and accept all the benefits of steady full-time employment? I won't quit my dreams for safety and convenience. True, admitting the failure would feel like killing the real you, but is he alive anyway? We go back to our laptop and open the email. She said she'll send you the thing tomorrow, but it's better to get this over with immediately. Write in draft. Regretfully, I must decline your offer. Huh. We got enough juice to commit to this. Dr. Fink thinks that clinging to your old identity at any cost is dangerous. You aren't keeping your old dreams alive. You're using them as a tomb. You should talk with him about this. Well, not right now, I guess.
I'll break you open if I have to.
But I guess we can talk to Robin?
Today, but it's 8 p.m. now. Yes, you're... Oh, hello, Mr. Harrow. How are you?
Oh.
You ready?
I like that. I was like, I really need to talk to you. And then immediately was just like, nah. Actually, I'm good. I'm pretty sure at 8:06 I'm going to arrive at the K ranch with like not enough time to break into the door. Yeah, there's definitely not enough time. We gotta find a quicker way in here. But I gotta talk to the doctor again this morning.
Still with me, Mr. Harrow?
Yeah, and I got a question. I realized something important and I need to share it with you. I've realized I tend to get stuck on old versions of myself and it keeps me from moving forward. For a second, there's a brief flicker of surprise at your candor before his composed facade slides back into place. This is a significant observation. Can you describe how this stuckness feels? Like breaking out of it would be a betrayal, even though remaining stuck in it is killing me. The language you use here is very telling. It suggests you have bound your present identity to a past ideal with the cords of loyalty and duty. What happens emotionally when you imagine becoming someone else? I become terrified that if I give up on becoming this ideal version of myself, everything will become meaningless. This level of fear tells me the feeling of yours transcends ambition. It's survival in your mind. But since you acknowledge it's part of a problem, it means a part of you is ready to notice the cost of such a mindset, that you're beginning to see that having an identity so rigid is exhausting and wrong. That awareness, even if uncomfortable, is the first step towards exploring or eventually adopting a new identity, or even identities that may suit you better. I can't turn back the clock. There's so many moments, opportunities lost in time. But you'll find if you keep your eyes open, there might be more on the road ahead. This is where our work begins, not with the examination of your current and past goals, but with understanding the person you can only see when you stop relentlessly running towards them. Can you do that for me? I think I'm ready. He smiles. It's genuine and comforting. All right, Mr. Harrow, we have a long road ahead, but I can promise we'll walk it together. And you believe him. Willpower gained. Meet the future you. You might not have uncovered who this new future you is, but at least you're starting to see that he can exist.
Right, you should go and check.
All right, we only lost a minute here, so that's not too bad. Fear of identity loss, fear of self-acknowledgement, fear of abandonment. Every single one of these characters is going to have me conquer a different fear. Which means even when I think I'm done with certain characters, I'm absolutely not. Well, I'm done with some characters, but we still got quite a few to go through. Maybe I'll answer the phone this time, just see if there's anything new.
Hello, sir. My name is Percy.
I have a question.
But of course.
Nope, actually I don't. Okay. So I am going to look for a quicker way in before I look for talking to Alex. bathroom under the stairs. Oh, yeah, this is the money here for sure. One of them have the fear of getting the fear cleared out. Lone cowboy and his horse gazes into the distance. A metal cabinet which somehow escaped the teeth of rust with an intricate golden insignia above the drawers. Looking at the letters, they spell out Philip K. A couple of drawers are half open, revealing they're filled with documents and dust. Browse through the documents from 1948. Hundreds of bleached or yellow papers set in folders for each month of the year. Reading them all would be a colossal undertaking and would melt your brain. Oh wait, you're already admitted. Kind of. Use my skim read foo to quickly identify which documents are really worth looking into. Good idea. No one can read or write as quickly and superficially as a content writer. January is filled with accounts, bills, financial reports, bookkeeping stuff you have no name for. February is the same, but among the documents is a letter from the head of Walter's elementary school. See what the letter's about. The school principal is writing as a friend of the family. Turns out Walter had beaten another boy blue because he insulted Walter's grandfather. The principal promises he'll make sure the case is not investigated, but urges Philip to control Walter's wild side. Carry on browsing. Flip through the pages of merch, contracts about selling cattle and other bureaucracy. Mention of Walter in what looks like a financial report. Better safe than sorry. You can't grasp it all. There's a conclusion below. It's written in plain language for a change. K Cattle Company is doing business at a loss, a severe loss. In tight handwriting, will Walter and I inherit only dust from the old man? Nothing about the disappearances. April folder, another cloud of dust spews forth. Document by document, nothing of interest. May, look at the time. The loop is about to end. Start browsing faster. You'll have to go back here next loop. Damn it. At least there's an answer there. It seems like there's always a couple different ways to solve the problems, but...
Still with me, Mr. Harrow?
Yeah, but I gotta go.
Mr. Harrow, please.
Sorry, homie.
Come on, you thief.
Straight to the K branch.
I'll break you open.
What I really need to do is figure out how to get rid of the roadblock. Because I think that's where I'm losing the most amount of time. But I don't seem to have, like, any answer for that. Ba-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-ba-dum. Have we asked the receptionist about the roadblock? No, it hasn't come up in conversation. All right, continue browsing through the documents. May, Philip has archived a copy of a letter he sent to his father that mentions Walter. Why would he archive and save a copy of his own letter? Seems to have been a very organized man. All right, let's read what it's all about. I've done extensive calculation and our company is done. There's no other conclusion. Please accept and sign the enclosed offer from General Meats to become partners before it's too late. If you don't want to do it for your empire, do it for your little Walter, your own blood. Rin your son, Philip. I think that's a bug. The tone of these two letters suggests some bad blood between these two. You open the folder for June. June has very few documents, none of them interesting. July is a letter from Maynard K to Philip. Are they sending each other letters through the postal service? Or aren't they living in the same house? Read Maynard's letter. I'd rather die than partner with them scumbags who destroy everything I worked for. The fact that you even consider tells me you're no son of mine, nor a true K. Unlike Walt, they sometimes skip a generation. I'll consult with my other lawyers and leave everything to little Walt. Now get, I liked it better when we didn't speak to each other. That's why they're sending each other a letter. Keep on flipping. The dust has permeated into your bloodstream by now. Nothing for August. Accounting and tax sheets. Seems like an enormous sum. You're out of time again. I can't go all this way again. You put a lot of effort into this. You could do it. Try to zone out and come back as soon as the loop resets. Is it going to start me back in this room? Or give me an option? Terribly sorry, doctor. I promise I'll be better next time. Go back to the K Ranch. Gee whiz, man. Didn't she speak about it with the dumper guy? We're still like figuring out all the dumper stuff, so. All right, nothing for August. Yep. September, you find more accounting documents, in the midst of which is a document from a bank where Philip K. acts as a representative of Walter K. You never know. Philip opened a trust fund in Walter's name and invested a considerable amount of money in it. The money will spin and multiply over the years until Walter claims it. There's not a single letter about vanishing. How come I only got one page? Let's go. Things just started to get interesting. I get there quicker when I don't automate the loop. 8:02. 8:35. $8:40, $8:44. All right, yeah, let's read this document. Keep browsing. October is devoid of anything but business paper. November folder full of dust and disappointment. Mix of accounts, bank statements, decreasing revenue, all sprinkled with a heavy dose of dust. You stumble upon a letter from Philip and his wife Eleanor, and your gaze catches a word: disappearing. Dear Philip, your recent letter regarding the police struck an incident chord with me. The letter writing... Oh man, the written warning you received feels like a slap in the face. It's disheartening to see the efforts overlooked and our legacy seemingly forgotten. The lack of recognition for our generosity towards the mayor is not just disrespectful, but frankly outrageous. On another note, you've been deeply concerned about Walter's recent behavior. His disappearing acts are not just puzzling, but increasingly worrisome. So this letter is connected to the police report Deputy Cody read to me. Look at you. The loop is molding you into a real detective. Young Walter had a bunch of issues growing up. And old Walter has a heart of gold, according to Deputy Cody. If only I had such a caring mother. Do you really think your life would turn out different if a person born a deadbeat, or did they become one? All right, enough inner monologue. You remember how your father had his moment of vanishing into thin air too, but refused to tell us about it when we confronted him, saying he would carry the secret to his grave. I can't help but wonder if there's a deeper connection between Walter's antics and Maynard's secret. Please, Philip, keep an eye on our boy. I know it's not your usual approach, but try to have a heart-to-heart with him. Yes, he's just a boy, but since you're not on speaking terms with your father, it might be more important now than ever. Disappearing seems to be a family trait, but it's skipped a generation. I'm thinking about reaching out to Madame Lorraine regarding this mystery. I realize you're skeptical about her powers, but I can't shake the feeling that there might be something more at play, something beyond our understanding. Tension updated. I hope it won't be long until they let me return home, but doctors say I'm improving. It's all a waiting game. Granddad Maynard has a habit of disappearing, same as Walter, same as Frank. Maynard took that secret to his grave. What am I waiting for? To the graveyard. Na 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 na. I hope there's no penalty for looping a lot. Ooh, a dream. You're standing in a high school auditorium, half blinded by stage lights and drowning in the smell of wax polish. Other singers surround you, every single one wearing a white shirt and dark trousers. The choir rows rise in tears before a velvet curtain. The conductor taps his baton. The performance begins. You open your sheet music and glance at it. To your horror, the pages are blank, no notes, no words, and your stomach drops. You know this piece. You've sung it before. I'll just follow the others. I know the melody. The mouth, the opening bars, recalling the melody and mimicking the shapes of vowels from the singer beside you. The words are gibberish, bare of any meaning, but somehow you blend in. A lone deciduous tree hiding in an evergreen forest. I could pull this off after all. The music swells and you ride the wave of collective sound, guessing syllables as you go. You just keep singing. The others keep singing too until they don't. On a pause you didn't anticipate, the entire choir goes silent, but a single note escapes your lips. It hangs in the air, alone and naked for all to notice. A soprano snorts, 2 baritones smirk without turning their heads. And the conductor? Of course he's noticed, but wait. He has your face, your adult face, weary and disappointed. The baton points like an accusation. Your shirt is damp under the arms. We stop singing and mouth the words from now on and pretend nothing happened. You abandon what little substance was in your performance and become a factory of silent, empty shapes now. Keep mouthing and don't risk it. But the audience knows. They stares brand your skin. The cold sweat soaks through the armpits of your white shirt. A darker patch spreads between your legs. It's not what it looks like. The choir keeps singing. The old Eugene keeps conducting, and you keep opening your mouth. Cold terror under your armpits, hot humiliation between your legs, and they slowly meet halfway in your stomach, boiling and freezing at the same time. Ping. The wrong note. You tried to blend in with the choir, but your own voice betrayed you in a moment of solitary shame. We haven't spoken to the receptionist about the door, no.
Still with me, Mr. Harrow?
We did think about it, though. But now we have a dream to talk to the doctor. Shouldn't be if it's anything like therapy. It's about taking your time to go through it, right? Bit by bit. Good old standing out because you're different. Sucks for a child, right? Well, we got a dream. We've found the K Ranch house. We just got to figure out how to get into it quicker. And we now are kind of seeing the pattern of like the different fears that we're breaking down as we learn each more and more about each character. So why don't we save this dream for the next episode and cut this one here? Come back and join us and see what we figure out next. Until then, bye-bye.